So the dollar is really a convenient type thing to think about. We think in dollars. Chemists think often in moles. Both of these are amounts. The mole's an amount of substance and the dollar is amount of purchasing power or money. So let's talk about pennies first. $1 is equal to 100 pennies. That's our conversion factor. So if I wanted to convert dollars to pennies, I'd multiply by the 100. So $3 times 100, that gives me 300 pennies. Likewise, if I had pennies and I wanted to know how many dollars I had, I could divide. 157 pennies, divide by 100, $1.57. With the mole, we talk about particles. And 1 mole equals Avogadro's number of particles. If we have 2 moles, we'll multiply by Avogadro's number, and that'll give us the number of particles. If we have a bunch of particles and we want to go to moles, we just divide. So this is convenient because we don't want to talk about our salary in pennies, and often chemists don't want to talk about individual molecules. It's easier to talk about moles. So that's one of the reasons we use the mole and the dollar. They're just convenient. Let's shrink this down to give ourselves some space. And let's talk about mass for a minute. Back in 1879, when the dollar was tied to a gold standard, if you had $1, about 0.05 ounces, actually troy ounces, of gold. So like $1 equals 100 pennies, this is a conversion factor for us. If I wanted to convert from dollars to gold, I wanted to know if I had $10, how much gold I would get, I could multiply 10 times our conversion factor, 0.05, and that would tell me how many ounces I could buy. Likewise, if I had 10 ounces of gold and I wanted to know how much it was worth, I could just divide by that 0.05 number. And that would tell me how much my gold was worth in dollars. We also work with mass in chemistry. We use grams. And 1 mole of gold equals 197.0 grams. AU, that's gold. So again, if I had 2 moles, I'd multiply that by 197, and that would tell me how many grams I have. About 400 grams of gold. If I had 600 grams of gold, I could convert that to moles. I just divide by this number here, and that would give me moles. 600 grams would be about 3 moles of gold. What's nice is I can go to the periodic table and I can look up gold, and it tells me that 1 mole is 197.0 grams. If I was working with a different element, like hydrogen, that's 1.01 grams for 1 mole. So the periodic table lists all of the elements, 1 mole of them, how much they weigh. It's called the atomic mass or the molar mass, and that's our conversion factor here. To wrap up, the mole, it's really useful. Along with these conversion factors, we can go from mass to particles or particles to mass or even liters, just like we use the dollar as a conversion factor with pennies and mass. I'll leave you with something called the mole map here. This is a useful representation, helps you visualize how that mole really is at the center between these different quantities that we use in chemistry. This is Dr. B, and thanks for watching.